Hey guys, hope you're doing well. Joined again today with Beth. My name is Brent, and welcome again to the introverted real estate and mortgage network, we're calling it. But really, it's just a lot of individuals that are in positions that are similar to Beth or myself, and you find yourself more introverted by nature. So I would say, Beth, most of our colleagues are probably, they'd consider themselves extroverts. Nothing wrong with that, but we like to talk a little bit more about what strategies work for us with our introverted nature and just some intricacies of that. So we thought today's topic would be all around creating a comfortable work environment. And that on the surface might sound kind of vanilla or boring, but I do feel like there is a big difference in personality and maybe how you want to set up your work environment, your office space, working from home, that type of thing. So Beth, I'll give you like initial first thoughts on that. What do you think of today's topic? Where does your mind go when I say that out loud?
Well, I think probably what I'm able to do and what you are able to do might differ a little bit. You maybe feel more compelled to show up to the office every single day, or maybe like it's more of a requirement. Where as a realtor, sometimes there's a little bit more flex. So sometimes it's like if I have not a lot going on, that's where I'm actually more likely to go in the office because getting bothered doesn't annoy me quite as much.
I think there's some truth to that. I can picture real estate agents maybe working from home, working at a coffee shop, wherever, because you're right. Like your clients, usually you might go meet them where they're at, where that's maybe a little bit more uncommon on the lending side. They come into the bank or the mortgage company or whatnot. So um, I think the thing I think of is distractions, and distractions are a huge thing. But I sometimes wonder if I personally get maybe annoyed or frustrated more with distractions than say an extroverted person by nature, because I can you and I've talked about this before. In the summertime, we both like to go to the lake, and we can uh, we always talk about like if we could just work from the lake for a week, whatever, we feel like we'd get more done. And I think there's a lot of truth to that. But then I wonder if it's really more our personalities, where we would like to just block out the distractions and the office, chit chat and gossip and whatever else is going on, and just get things done. And maybe that's not necessarily introverted, but I can see a lot of times where if we can block that out, we can get a lot more done in general. So you mentioned if you don't have a lot going on, you'll come into the office. If you do have a lot going on, what does that look like for Beth? How do you get the most done with fewest distractions? I guess probably is the way to ask it.
Sure. So I actually have a team that I work with. So there are four other agents on my team and two admins, and we actually share one giant office. So when I'm on the phone and somebody else is on the phone, you can compete with voices, which is really, really hard. So sometimes that means for me, like getting up and actually going to a different room, so an office that maybe nobody is using. And sometimes it really is just like letting my teammates know, hey, I have a lot of like things that I'm needing to take care of. I don't mean to be rude, but I'm just going to be like head down grinding. I do have another person in my office. She's not on my team, but like she'll hang a sign on the door that says like, if it's not on fire, do not come in here.
So I was going to just say that, putting a sign on the door, to me, it's like, oh, I want to be like friendly and warm and inviting to anyone, but then all you're really doing is just inviting them to pop in whenever. So when she does that, do you look at that like, oh, I can't believe she's, being that rude, or do you look at that like, oh, she's really getting a lot done? And is that just maybe a story we tell ourselves in our own heads that, well, we have to always be available, to our coworkers or whatnot?
Yeah, I feel like when I saw the sign the first time, it made me laugh. And then another part of it is just like, gosh, like good for her for setting the boundary. Because she knows our office can be filled with really good learning experiences, but then there's just a lot of surface level stuff of venting and things like that, that she's just like, I don't have time for that today. And I think that's okay to set that boundary.
I think being introverted, maybe we dismiss some of this as like, oh, it's not that big of a deal, but I feel like for ourselves, giving ourselves the comfortable work environment where you don't feel like somebody could walk in that door any second here and kind of derail everything I'm doing. So it's like your mind's in a different spot when you're working maybe at home, or you won't be interrupted, versus the interruption could come at any point. So I think The sign on the door is probably a good idea. Time blocking for yourself, like scheduling an hour out, and I don't care, if the phone rings or an email pops up or whatever, I'm going to get these things done. And time blocking, it's so easy to say and so hard to do. But I think that could be huge. And then I also think of just making sure your environment is comfortable, meaning, everything from how your desk is set up, your monitor, your, mic, speakers, your chair, even like what you wear to work or how comfortable you are in that. All those little things just seem like they end up being a big deal. So I know it seems like such a minor topic to talk about, but I think getting in the zone and just upping that level of productivity, just those few little things can be huge. So anything to close us out on this one, Beth?
No, I'm all about like getting in as many things as possible in as a short amount of time as possible. Like that is the way I like to work, but that just means that I can't always meet everybody else's expectations of me being available. But I love your advice.
Okay, awesome. Well, what are you guys doing on your end? What are some tricks or hacks or tips that you've implemented or maybe wish you could implement as an introvert or even otherwise, just things for productivity? So maybe throw them in the comments. We'd love to read them. Let us know if you've got any ideas, and we'll be back again before you know it. Thanks, everybody.